Now, this is the Darius tier list update. And I'll start off by saying that I outright got rid of the God tier. People kind of didn't understand that it was an extension of tier 1. And they didn't notice tier 1 was half the size of tier 2. And then God tier was the other part of it. The idea with that was that the ones in God tier were, strictly better than the other ones in tier 1. So they were both technically tier 1, just it's so you can notice it more that these guys are kind of badasses. Now it's just eliminated, and I guess it's basic psychology here. People will shut up about it because now they don't associate that name with some, unprofound status of a character. Either way, there was deviations in it. Dr. Mundo, just read about that, why he went up there, and why Maokai Nautilus didn't change. Because, honestly, they're pretty much the same thing. Maokai's easier. I ended up deciding on that. Now, on to the characters. Now, Fizz is one character that people keep telling me is, oh, you should try him as a jungler. He's a lot better. You know what? I've tried him before, and after the remake, he can gank and tower dive like a bastard. And at level 6, it's a guaranteed kill on certain lanes if you hit the damn fish. Problem is, he can't recover worth a damn. He's single target. He has no sustain. If he gets behind, either by harassment, he dies in the gank, or he gets, stuff stolen, you will feel that, and you will feel that big time. He's really weak in that regard. It's sort of that he has to, keep the pace up, and if you trip him up, then he, limps ahead, and if you trip him more, he breaks his leg, and he can't move anymore. That's his big weakness. He fucking fall apart really easily, much like Shaco. And then there's other better choices. But he freaking hurts like hell, and like amplified Fizz versus other junglers, he'll probably slaughter them, except the really super god tier ones. Now the other one to talk about is Galio. Now he's like, his sustain is funny because it's just a shield, pop the shield, go up to a camp, heal back to full basically. There's really not much to else to talk about him, but people wanted me to talk about him, so here he is. I didn't raise him up because I pretty much got lazy as hell. But Galio, if you're going to use Galio, you should use someone like Amumu, Nautilus, or, a dozen other characters. But, for me, I really like Galio, and I don't get to lane so much, so I just throw him in the jungle. Regrowth Pendant, start off with Q, max it out first, and then W, don't really get E until you want to gank things. And, just go about your day. Just shoot things with your eye lasers. As far as build goes, you can put anything on him. Just armor. The only thing I require are armor yellow. And the masteries are whatever. I go 0, 9, 21, and then just go around shooting things. It's not hard. Just get a leash at wherever you start off, preferably blue. I beam lasers everywhere, and then just clear up and down. He's average speed, and then he's Galio. On Fiddlesticks. So Fiddlesticks got some buffs. I'm still yet to see if that's really impacting or anything. But the cool thing is, I've been trying him as a support jungler, much like Gragas, Kayle, and the like right there, if I get behind. Start off with Amplifying Totem. A lot of AP on his runes. Build that into Kage's Lucky Pick, and also get a Regrowth Pendant. And interestingly enough, the Regrowth Pendant solves all his mana issues right there. And I build him cooldown reduction to Shirelia's, and then you build him utility AP if I get behind. Much like Gragas. He still has a crap load of CC, and yes, this is directly because I saw bottom lane support in the tournament. And I'm like, you know what? They justified that with just, you auras and his crowd control. I could justify that too. So I went ahead and tried that out in the jungle, and I'm like, holy crap, this works out very well, even though I'm behind. Just having a Fiddlesticks run in there with his ultimate, regardless of how much AP he has, whatever, he's still going to do a lot, because he's still going to throw out his, CCs around. He's going to be annoying as hell, and people are going to probably want to kill him first. So it ended up working out well and gave him, a boost in his pathing and all that good stuff. He still has, the problems right now. He can still be built AP, but that's kind of something you might want to try, building him, support, auras, and all that good stuff. Try that out, and tell me what you think as well. Speaking of support, Kayle, there, I gave her more points on her pathing, which was really poor. based on the fact that you can go support Kayle. Though that still, puts the burden on your team of having to fill the spots on the others, on whatever she's not gonna be able to provide for her team, like, a tank or crowd control or initiation. She works as support. Her ultimate, regardless of whatever she is or how much gold she is or how behind she is, it's still one of the ultimate cock blocks. So that alone, that ultimate is still infinitely valuable, and it scales depending on the target you use, the timing on it, or whatever. So it's completely conditional on the skill and intelligence of the Kayle user. And as far as support goes, support Kayle, I don't really like the idea of it because it feels like such a waste. But it's something she can do if she gets behind. So having more options means, they're more attractive as a pick. So Kayle moved up in the tier list, still wobbly in there, and yeah. Oh, Rammus and Shaco. I'm not going to put a picture of Shaco. These two I just have no idea what to do with. It's like they snowball so hard, but they in both ways, so it's kind of hard to actually, grade them. And I should also talk about Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao is so powerful early, but so crappy as it goes on. And so if he doesn't snowball, he just falls apart. And it's like Xin Zhao has high scores because you can't deny his early jungle is strong, and Rammus's early ganking is strong, but we all know just how bad it can get if they don't get ahead. So I have no idea how to consider these three. And Shaco's just proving to be an issue. It's like I can't he's easy to, if he stopped, he falls apart, flat on his face, useless. And if he gets countered, but can I really grade that in a way? I'm like I don't hold that against a lot of other junglers because a lot of other junglers can also be destroyed by coordination. But but Shaco it's to a bigger degree. But if I don't hold it to them at all or much, can I really hold it to him as well? It's like, it's troubling. You get what I mean. Oh, Trundle, the poster boy for the balance, the champion who hasn't received any buffs and has remained the same, and people feel he's completely the most balanced champion. They could say that, but power creep, Every other character has received some form of buff, either if it's quality of life or, straight out numbers changes. Some time ago, Jarvan had a severe issue with pretty much anything because he had really sad mana costs. He couldn't jungle with those mana costs either. It would really set him behind and he could fall apart. But once they just tweaked those, he was set. It was like he wasn't overpowered. He was finally just able to do what he could. Same as Skarner. Remember when Skarner came out? It wasn't an issue that he had no damage or anything. The issue was that he couldn't sustain anything he was intended to do. And they gave him those buffs, sustain buffs, and they were revived. They were brought back. They were awesome again. And I feel they should do that to Trundle. I already mentioned it before, but I played with him again after making that video, and I played more and more, and I was just like, yeah, this is really bad. Everyone starts off with boots in the jungle, well, most junglers, so chasing them is harder. It's even made harder by the fact that Trundle's animations are really terrible. Like, you will miss out on an extra swing when you have your W on because your stupid bite takes a whole, you can only attack after your bite ends, which the whole animation's long. You can't chase after using your ultimate because once you use that thing, you lose like 1.5 seconds of chasing. Even your, the poop dildo, well, it's a balance issue and would make sense, still ends up holding him back. So he needs his animations changed. He needs his animations cut down. And perhaps the mana costs on his W and E need to be updated as well compared to the other junglers. So I'm not going to tell you if he's better in the top lane or in the jungle or whatever. He landed himself in tier 2, but he could be, people are saying he's OP as hell. And they'll say, oh, he should be top of tier 1 or something like that because of that crap. It's like, no, he shouldn't. Like, being OP is just being OP. And so I put him in tier 2 with huge anticipation that he's going to get his ass nerfed. So think of this as temporary. If he lasts, another patch cycle without getting any nerfs or hotfixes or whatever, then I'll raise him up. Because right now he's actually really strong because his damage is absurd, and pretty much no one should go walk up to him and shake his hand because just severing him in two. So this is a preemptive positioning because if I go put him in tier 1, people are gonna bitch and whatever. He's really strong. He's the combination of a lot of characters without their mobility. Like, he has the early damage of Riven. That's pretty brutal. He doesn't have the gap closers, but okay, he has the clearing speed of a lot of top tier junglers, and especially with a leash, and it's sick. He's got dueling powers that are there, though he can't really chase unless he already started cutting them up and slowing them. So they kind of have to fall in his hands. But if he gets an ambush, it's an ambush. He amplifies incredibly well. Run into a double buff Darius, your ass is grass. You ain't gonna get away. His ganking, of course, isn't the best, though his E can, sometimes help out, do something. But if he touches somebody, they're probably going to die unless they use all their escapes. And even then, he might be able to just grab them and destroy them again anyways. So, he's really brutal right now. He's got damage, he's got, speed. He's tanky. Sure, he's got no sustain, but who needs that when you destroy everything? He's got multiple paths. His mana costs are brutal. They're safe. His E can even steal things. Like, you can, with some characters with skill shots like Dr. Mundo, you could throw, let's say behind the lizard, you throw your Q and you cause it to leash around. Darius, you just pull that damn lizard over the wall and then you just start killing it. It's like he saves a lot of time doing that. You can steal blue buffs, you can do whatever, and they won't reset if you do it properly. So Darius right now is nifty as hell. Sure as hell, he's not as good as Dr. Mundo and Udyr, because they've got mobility and that awesome and the rest of that awesome sauce. But Darius is just. He's probably broken as shit. As a jungler, I'm not saying he's broken as a jungler. I'm saying he's probably broken as a character. As everybody's bitching. Top lane, yeah, top lane. I think he's both good for top lane, mid lane. I mean, not mid lane. Top lane jungle. I've already, as of making this, Guardsman Mob scored a pentakill with a guy. So, take from what I say what you will and what you see. We'll see what Riot decides to do to Darius. Whether they decide to nerf him, whether we find counterplay, whatever. But so far, he's brutal. The placement in tier 2 is placeholders just in case Riot decides to do anything. And he's probably not tier 1 material, but he's probably higher in tier 2 if he stays as is.